The flow and the sound design of this beat is crazy. What the heck is going on? A master in all the basics. Yo, what's up, my current GBB? Welcome back to another latest video with your boy Madox, aka Man of Culture. Today I'm going to check out the GBB 21 final round between River and Colaps. Some people say it was really close, some people say it was obvious that Colaps won. Let me try to find out the truth, or at least my opinion. Of course I'm gonna check out the comment section, but first, subscribe to my channel. You done? Let's go! Let's read some comments! Ooh, a message by our mustache friend Colaps. 100% French-Colombian final with mustaches. An honor to have shared the final with my extreme talented friend, tag team partner and mustache brother. Couldn't wish for a better person to meet at the very end of my journey. Enjoy, everyone. I mean, that's the best case for him, right? Because River is his tag team partner, so if River gets more famous, tag team gets more famous. Win-win situation. Shazam was commenting, what a dream to battle your tag team partner in the finals. Not sure though if Shazam should battle his tag team partner in the final. Team Asia. Ooh, River also left a comment. GBB is French and Colombian. You have no idea how proud of us I am. Aww. We made it to the finals together as we planned, and I honestly don't care about the result, because at the moment we stepped on stage together, we already won everything. Enjoy the battle, people. Of course you don't care about the GBB title. Why should you, bro? Colaps equals how you make technicality enjoyable for non-beatboxing listeners' ear. Now, that's a proper comment. Man of culture. To be honest, I'm also not the biggest fan of technical beatboxes, but Colaps, yes, I also can enjoy really much. Officially the second tag team to have reached the finals together, after Kenny and Napalm. Let's go! Yeah, if you remember that Kenny and Napalm battled in 2016 against each other. And I can tell for both it was a weird situation back then to battle each other because they're good friends. So let's see how it was for Colaps and River. 10-6, Dealer always improving his beatbox skills, even announcing the GBB champ. Yeah, man, I guess that's how you get a GBB champ, constantly working on his skills, even if it's such an important moment. Good comment. Man of culture. Alright guys, you know what? Enough of the comments! Let's get into the analysis. Let me analyze that. Let's get into the video.
Then you know what to do. I say the trois, you say the deux. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, in trois! GBB's French motherfuckers
and Colombian.
Put your hands up. Flows are liquid and wicked. Time switch!
Alright, that was the first round of River. My first impression is it's really musical. There's a lot of technical parts inside, not many mistakes. Actually, I didn't recognize any mistakes there. There was just some sounds I didn't really enjoy. For example, the snare at the end. It did something like I know for a fact you can do it better. For example, like or just work on the double voice or something. That was the only part where I was like, but the rest was really dope. So enough said about that. Let's get into the details.
In trois!
Yeah, so the intro was really dope. I really liked that. He was hyping up people because his friend is with him in the finals and they're both French. Don't know why he did mention they're also Colombian, but it's fine, you know, like both are grown-up French people, so they're basically French, right?
Put your hands up.
So River, instead of building an intro or something, he directly started with a beat drop, and I was pretty cool with this technique. I can't really do the whistle. Really original beat, really dope. Maybe there's one beatboxer I could imagine, maybe like Max. He has like a similar style, like with the whistles and the melodies in between, but I think his techniques are different. So River is really original with this technique, right away starting with something original, something to bounce to. Really cool move. Also, his lip roll is proper. A lot of people are actually underestimating the lip roll, but it's really important that this is on point, because if it's not hitting right, if it's not slapping your face, you just won't get the attention of your audience. So your lip roll has to be proper, and River really has a proper one. Also this transition, this arpeggios in between, I really like that. He's really playful with the melodies and it sounds really colorful. Because of the varieties, it's basically every note has a different texture and that's why it sounds so rich in frequencies.
Flows are liquid and wicked.
Oh, and then the transition. Wait, what is the lyrics? Madox again. With the lyrics, bro. I think he says flows so wicked and liquid.
Flows are liquid and wicked.
And yeah, it is wicked and liquid. He maybe means that it's like really, I don't know, like his sounds are flowing into each other. And also his name is River, so maybe that's the reference. Just guessing right here. Let me know in the comments if you know what he was saying here and what's your interpretation, because I'm really bad with lyrics. I'm sorry. Oh, and then the next beat, man. What the heck is going on? I have no idea how to do that. Zero. I mean, I'm not the greatest beatboxer. I would say I'm good. I'm a good beatboxer. I'm 2 times German champ. But I don't know what he was doing here. Also how the snare comes in, like the second snare is like... What the heck? The flow and the sound design of this beat is crazy. I really love it. It's so original and it's hitting really hard. So 2 really dope beats after each other. The first one was more chill, but this one has way more drive. And for me, it really works because he's also building up the energy. The first is a little bit lower, but on the second one is like so much filth inside. So really good choice here. Also, this little technical break in between, it was okay. I'm not so sure if it was a good choice to cover the microphone like that. Don't know why he did it here. For me, it felt like the technical break sounded a bit muddy. You never know what's the struggle right now on stage with the microphone and the monitors. So I wouldn't give minus points on this one. But yeah, sometimes it's just like, I'm not a big fan of doing this with the microphone because it always will sound muddy, because you basically will cut some high frequencies while you do this. The benefit sometimes can be that it sounds a bit more powerful and nasal sounds will come through better. But the downside, of course, is what I just mentioned. At the end of the beat, I can feel that he lost a little bit of energy, maybe because this beat is really exhausting to do for him. So this could be a little minus point right here. He's not losing the groove though. The timing is still perfect. So just little details right here. Then he comes into a classic house beat that's really chill, a little crowd pleaser in between. After he started with the beat, he had this little transition. I can't do this arpeggios. Gotta practice this because I really love it. But this one for me sounded a little bit unclean. It's probably not the pitch, it's just the texture of his voice. I think you can execute this better. I think the pitch is fine. You just can hear in his voice that he's already kind of exhausted because the last beat was taking up so much energy. And as a beatboxer, you need to be aware that you need to have enough energy for every part in your round. So also, this is not a big minus point. It's just a tiny detail, but we are watching the GBB finals right now, so every detail counts. Also, the second arpeggio wasn't really on point. I think he was struggling with his breath management in between. Maybe his heart rate was just going up because there's so much pressure on stage, right? It's the finals of GBB. It's like the biggest dream for every beatboxer. Of course, people can get nervous a little bit. I would be super nervous, most probably. I would be probably even super nervous already in the elimination. And this is the finals. And then it's also against Colaps, one of the best beatboxers on this planet. He's GBB champion right now, which is equal for world champion right now. I can understand if he was nervous, and maybe that was the reason why he was kind of sloppy in these parts. It wasn't super sloppy, but again, as I said, in a final like this, every little detail counts. This long technical part was actually really, really clean. I really love it. It's really dope and also really original combos here, so props for this one. Then after this, he was switching into a little transition and started with his last beat. For me, it kind of felt at this part that he wasn't planning to do this, but he just had a lot of time left, so he decided to do something freestyle. I'm not 100% sure if this was freestyle. By looking at him, looking at the clock to check how much time he has left, for me it felt like he had to make a decision right here. And then he decided to do this beat, and as I already mentioned, I'm not a big fan of the snare. I think he does it like inwards. Maybe normally he could do it, but at this point it just didn't work. Could work on that snare, bro. I have to say, I'm really picky with snares. Yeah, and then at the end, he just was like doing his multi-snares. That's pretty dope also. I can tell like there could be a little bit more energy. Again, as I say, little details. It's just an objective observation. But for me, these little details count, especially when you battle someone like Colaps, who is a master in all the basics. All his sounds are really, really clean, and he really takes care of every single sound. So you have to be on this level to be able to battle him, especially when you focus on technical patterns. So again, as I said, really nice structure, really nice crowd pleasers in between, so good performance. I also like the melodies in between and the house break and the way he was doing technical beats after musical parts, but little minus points for execution, because sometimes he was a little bit sloppy, and I could imagine that Colaps would be cleaner in the first round. Let's check it out.
Let me analyze that.
Everyone knowing that I'm a desperate young.
Oh, the flow.
Everyone knowing that I'm a desperate young. Everyone knowing that I'm a desperate young.
The transition. Okay. Wow. He was dropping the Death Bringer. Again, like in the last analysis video, I already know this routine. Colaps was here to record all his GBB rounds with me. So I know this thing by heart. It's going to be really hard for me to say objective because I also know how this routine can sound in his cleanest way. I think the structure of it is really dope. I think the technical breaks in between are really sick. The pitch at the beginning wasn't really on point. And also his chest bass just wasn't on the level that he usually could be. So it was a little bit unclean. But before I keep talking, let's get into the details. Colaps started with a really unusual melody at the beginning. At this point, it's really hard to tell what should be the right pitch because it's kind of like detuned on purpose, if you know what I mean. It's not like a typical pop melody, but I think sometimes his throat bass is off. Sounds kind of like maybe he was already tired. I don't remember at what time the final was, but I definitely know it was after midnight, maybe even 2 a.m. Not sure anymore. It was pretty late. Maybe this was causing problems on both his voice and River's voice. You definitely can see it here. But the timing was good. The pitch of the rest was fine, I would say. And also when he performs the lyrics, everyone knows that I'm a death bringer. I think that's the lyrics. Also here you can tell that his voice is not 100% there in this moment. Maybe he was already tired. I don't know. Then he came into the first beat and I really love the groove of this. It's really dope. It's like a simple beat. He doesn't use really complex sounds here, but the beat really hits. His basics are just dope, like his kick and snare. It's just sitting really well. The flow is really on point. So props for this beat. Yeah, just sometimes I can tell that his throat bass was unclean. But the breaks in between, man, it's really dope. I really like the details. Like when you listen to Colaps, you need to listen to his routines multiple times to catch all the little details that he has in between, especially like the technical breaks in between. And that's what makes his beats really rich. Then he came into the next transition. Here he keeps the melody from the beginning, but a little bit shuffled. And also here, the melody is not 100% on point. I know how it could sound like. Again, maybe his voice was tired, but the timing is good. The idea is really nice of it. His bass sounds, like the click roll in between, and his percussion sounds are really on point and clean and powerful. Again, you also need to know that I'm listening on studio monitors right now. He was performing this live on stage. Probably live, you wouldn't 100% hear like this little imperfections. In a video, of course, you can hear that all. Then he came into the next drop and like this little details with the high-pitched voice in between. I really love that. It's so dope and it makes this beat sound really glitchy. Also, the way he's playing with the time here, man, it's so dope. It's like the basic beat of I can't repeat the techniques. The way he's playing with the timing while still keeping the timing perfectly, that's really dope and that's on a really high level. Then he came into this transition and I really love it. It sounds kind of awkward, but I can tell he was doing it on purpose. It kind of sounds like he's glitching out. That's what makes it really cool for me. And then he keeps going with the voice and it's like the voice is like counting against the beat. And then he brings the percussions in between and that's also a really cool effect at this part. Really groovy part, really sick. Then he brings his last trick and wow. He kicks in with this crazy lip bass that he has. I know for a fact he's not doing it like this. but when he does it, it's more like his lips are more to the front. I can't really do it. I think it's kind of similar to Footbox G's or Villain's bass. They would do it more like a smile. But he's doing it more to the front, so it sounds really similar, but I think the texture is a little bit different. And then the technical part in between, oh my gosh. Colaps was teaching me this technique. By the way, if you also want to learn it, click the info box right here to see it. We did a little challenge with techniques from easy to impossible, and I wasn't able to do this technique at the end. Something like, but really fast. Not gonna learn it today. That was the highlight of the round. You can also see it in the faces of the judges. This was really hitting hard because it's really fast, but at the same time, it sounds really full and powerful. I think what it makes it so powerful is that he has a sucker punch in between. So while he's doing a technical thing, he also has bass in between. Like the technique is, but really, really fast. When he does it, it sounds really, really powerful. All right, so this was the first round of Colaps and River. So let's quickly compare it. Both are really experienced in composition and structure. I think Colaps was doing a better job in structuring it because at the end of River's round, kind of felt a bit random with this beat where he had this sloppy inward snare. Maybe he wasn't completely planning out his routine. Of course, you can put in some freestyle parts, but then it has to be on point. Or you use a performance element in between. For example, D-Lo does this a lot, that he takes some time to react to a certain situation that just happened on stage and then uses this moment for a special performance element. But for River, I didn't really feel this moment. When you look at execution, both had problems in cleanliness. Colaps had some problems with the pitch and the throat bass as well as the chest bass, and River also on his arpeggios sometimes was a bit unclean. And as I mentioned in the last beat, the inward snare with the voice wasn't 100% on point, but then at the same time both had really good timing, both are really powerful. So on execution, I would say I see both on a similar level. When you look at performance, both had a really good stage presence. I slightly see River in the front because he could attract the crowd a little bit more with the crowd pleaser at the beginning when he was mentioning that it's a French final and everyone was applauding for it, and also the crowd pleaser with the house beat in between. That was a really cool performance element. Colaps had some wow moments in between too, but yeah, I think River had a little bit more crowd control. And the last point is complexity. Both are on a really high level. River is really complex with the arpeggios and the technical parts. Colaps is also really complex with the breaks in between, the switches between the chest bass and the throat bass and the arpeggios. I couldn't really make a decision who would be in the front here. So my conclusion after the first round, I can't really make a decision. As I mentioned, in arrangement and structure, I see Colaps slightly in the front, but then in performance and crowd control, I see River a little bit in the front. It's pretty even. Alright guys, that's it with the first round. If you want to see my analysis on the second round, there will be a video right here.